Hi, Mike Carroll with Intelligent Conversations. What I'd like to do over the next month or so is share with you some observations I've made in my Salesforce development consulting practice of 7 devastating mistakes we see sales organizations making. And I've observed these mistakes over the past year or so in a challenging economic environment. I think that these mistakes have probably always been there. I just think they became more apparent in 2009 when we saw longer buying cycles, increased resistance, and salespeople who used to crush it absolutely struggled to make their numbers last year. And even if they did make their numbers, it took 5 or 10 times the effort. So all I want to do with this first segment is put the ideas out there, and then over the next month or so I'm going to drill down on each one of these 7 mistakes. So mistake number 1, do you have the right salespeople on your team? Do you have the right people on your team to support your company's strategy? So we'll talk more about that in the next segment. Mistake number 2, hiring mistakes. Do you have the right systems and processes in place to ensure that you're hiring only A players for salespeople? And do you have systems and processes in place that can help them get up to speed faster and to shorten the time from initial hire to producing revenue? The third mistake that we see is a lack of alignment between the day-to-day activities of the sales team and the strategic objectives of the company. So for example, you may have salespeople going after a high volume of transactions and the company's focus is on profit margin. Or you may have a CEO or a business owner say, hey, call up this level, call CEOs, presidents, and business owners, and the salespeople are more comfortable calling purchasing agents. Why? Because that's where they can get in. The fourth mistake we see is a complete lack of systems. It's amazing to me as we work with companies how few companies really have well-organized, well-defined sales systems. Even those companies that do have sales systems, typically we find these systems are severely lacking, and often they were put in place at a time where the company's in a different place and the company's grown beyond the systems, or the systems are out of alignment with their current strategic objectives. The last mistakes that we want to explore, mistakes 5, 6, and 7, all relate to sales management. Sales managers are tremendously challenged, particularly in an environment like we saw last year in 2009, where you saw longer buying cycles and salespeople really struggle. The first one is, mistake number 5, is sales managers not understanding the strengths and fully utilizing the strengths of their sales team. So do you understand how to put your salespeople in position to be successful, and how do you leverage their strengths? The second mistake that we see, mistake number 6 out of the 7, is sales managers not fully understanding or willfully overlooking the weaknesses of each individual on their sales team. How can you possibly coach effectively and help them overcome those weaknesses if you're not aware of what they are? And then the last area that we see where sales managers really struggle is they're overwhelmed with conflicting input. They're being managed from the top and they're being managed or demanded from the bottom. They kind of get squeezed in the middle between upper management and their sales team. And what happens is sales managers simply get overwhelmed and run around like a chicken with their head cut off in a reactive fashion rather than a proactive strategic manner. So those are the 7 devastating mistakes we see sales organizations making. We'll explore each one of these in more detail over the coming weeks. Mike Carroll with Intelligent Conversations. Thank you.